trouble.
Yeah, but I apologize for the sidebar. I'm just gonna have to pop my email on here and download it. I don't want to lose what we have going on, so you're okay.
Well, if it makes sense to run through other slides first.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's get going then. Welcome, everybody. I call the December 2024 Parks and Recreation Board meeting to order. Before we move on to the agenda items, I'd like to acknowledge our hybrid meeting format. Board meetings in the public can now attend in person or via Teams. Thankfully, we got it to work. Now take roll call. Please say here when I call your name and position number. Position number 1, Laura.
Here, remote.
Position number 2, Malia.
Here.
Position number 3, Nicholas.
Here.
Position number 4, Sheila.
Here.
Manny is absent. Position number 6, Maggie.
Here.
Position number 7, me, I'm here. Position number 8, Barbie. Still with us, Barbie?
Here.
Position number 9.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you for being here. Position number 9, Jace.
Here.
Okay, thank you.
In addition, the following city staff are in attendance: Parks and Recreation Director Nick Stroop, Recreation Community Events Coordinator Blaine, and Parks and Recreation Administrative Coordinator Tasha Tadme. I'll now invite a motion to approve the November minutes in order and content.
So moved.
I motion to approve.
Want to take a second, Nick?
Second.
Motion was made by Barbie and seconded by Jace. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. It doesn't look like we have any public comment today. Oh, there is someone online. The 425 number on Teams, would you like to make a public comment? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, it's David Bain. I don't have a public comment to make.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, David.
Hi, happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Happy holidays.
Okay, wow, it's great to have so many people here right at the end of the year. I just had a couple notes to share from your comments from the chairperson. As we come to the end of the year, a lot of us have been reflecting on our time on the Parks Board. Sheila and I talked a little bit, and there's a lot of us whose terms are ending in 2025. So Malia, Nick, Sheila, Barbie, and Jace. All of you all are having terms that expire. So I just wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that that is coming around the corner. I think this team is awesome, and this board has been working super well together. So I hope you all consider reapplying, but you do need to reapply. So the city clerk would put out a call for board members, and then you would need to go through the online process, interview with council again. If you choose not to reapply, the last meeting would be in April. Yeah, okay. Did you figure out the terms as they've been adjusted?
I have not. We were wondering if the terms have changed from 2 years to 4 years, or are they all? Because Nick, you've only been on 2 years, correct? Or has it been? Yeah. 2 terms?
I don't know.
Yeah. But we'll verify. We
Yeah,
just
we'll
didn't know
verify.
if the terms have changed over.
And I'm sure when they put out the call, they'll make it very clear
Yeah.
what your commitment is,
Yep.
for sure.
I think mine officially changed to 4 years from 3 years. Just this
Okay.
past.
Yeah, yours is the longest. I think it's like 2028.
I'm here for life.
Carry on all the institutional knowledge to the future, okay? All right. Some other big news in this last month is the council adopted the budget and approved just this week the comprehensive plan. So those are big things that were on the agenda for council this year. And I don't know if you have any comments on.
Well, I would just say that it's an exciting time. I mean, that the process of developing budgets, both our operational and our capital side, they take a lot of time and effort, and a lot of things go into that. There's a lot of different touch points. I think the comprehensive plan, if you've been following it, also, particularly towards the end, the last part, that did raise a lot of concerns in the community, but it did pass at the last meeting on Tuesday. And, there's some really, really good things in the comprehensive plan, particularly related to sort of the Parks and Recreation element, which is a nice segue as we move into 2025 and prepare to do our pros plan. So it's a great opportunity to kind of connect those two things. And on that note, I'll just mention it now since I have the opportunity. We did close our RFP for our pros plan today. We received 7 proposals. We're really excited about that, get that that project up and running. And we also closed our Former Wayne Golf Course master planning RFP today as well, and we received 12 proposals for that. So a lot of interest, to work in Bothell. I think it's kind of exciting that these firms really do want to work in Bothell. They're excited about the work that we're doing, and next year is going to be a real fun one for all of us. I think we're going to have a lot of great things to do on this board as well as out in our community. So I'm really excited about that, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, moving on to our first presentation. We have a community presentation today. Depending on how long you've been on the board, we've had several Friends of Parks groups. Hilton View Forest Stewardship Association was our last one, with Hillary coming to present. We've also had Friends of North 3/4 come. So today, I'm going to do my best to maintain my Parks Board hat. And is here representing Whale Scout. She's been with the organization for about 2 years, and she is our Student and Community Education Coordinator. We have been presenting every year, just a little report to Nick and to Shelby, and we were encouraged to also bring that presentation in a more simplified form here to the Parks Board. So I'm excited for Rachael to share with you what we've been up to.
Yeah, you can come on up.
So you can also sit or whatever
Whatever you'd like to do.
I'll stand.
Okay.
Okay. Look good a second ago.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachael, like Whitney mentioned. I've been with Whale Scout for 2 years now. Originally started out as an intern, and now I'm main coordinator. So I'll be doing our community report on Whale Scouts community engagement and our restoration, specifically at the Former Wayne Golf Course. So just an overview of what I'll kind of talk about today. I'll start out with what is Whale Scout for those who don't know. Also our partnership with the city of Bothell, mostly about restoration and community education. Talk about trees and orcas and how they're related. Our student and intern involvement and their impact with Whale Scout. Our 2024 stats, what we've done this last year and what we are looking forward to do in the next year. All right, so what is Whale Scout? So it's a nonprofit originally started in 2013 by Whitney Neugebauer. It mostly is focused on restoring our orca population since they're currently endangered. It originally started off as doing more of onshore whale watching education. So we would have volunteers go out to parks and things where you can obviously see orcas specifically. And people, mostly volunteers, go and educate people kind of passing by. Now really what it's mostly focused on is doing habitat restoration and community engagement. And we have 2 sites that we're working with right now. So we have Bear Creek and Redmond and the Former Wayne Golf Course, which is what I'll be talking about today. So kind of back in 2019 is when we really started doing work at the Former Wayne Golf Course, beginning on the back 9 of the park toward Blythe. And now it wasn't until 2022 that we started actually making ground planting the front 9 of the park, which is what I'll be mostly talking about today, is all the work mostly being done on the front 9. The next slide. And really a lot of what we do couldn't be done without the city of Bothell. We don't sometimes have the people or really the equipment to do a lot of the things that we need to get done. So the city definitely supports us doing mulch deliveries, hauling out blackberry debris, They even help us write letters of support for grant applications that we're going for. And then on the flip side, we also do a lot of support with park programming, such as walking tours. We provide art to the park, and then we also are doing story walks to involve kids into the community. There's not a lot of kids going to that park. We also, obviously, you can see at the bottom right corner, we do a lot of weed removal and invasive removal as well. We also write letters to for support for grant applications for surface water. And then we've done collaborative events for like Earth Day and MLK Day as well for the city. So a lot of people come to our events and they ask how a community member of Bothell can help orcas. And this is a great way. So obviously, there's a few migratory routes that salmon take. And the reason that we care mostly about salmon is because orcas eat salmon. And there's a few migratory routes they take, but this is one of the main ones. They go through the Sammamish River out to the Puget Sound and then back again when they spawn. And that circled section right there that I have is obviously right where the former Wayne Golf Course sits. You can see on the right side, these are two aerial views that I also show people on the top. 1936 is around when the golf course became a golf course. And then the bottom is what it looks like now. You can see that the width of the Sammamish River is a lot wider, and it's a lot more straight, so we've lost some complexity. And there's not a whole lot of vegetation on either sides of the river. Go to the next slide. So saving salmon equals saving orcas. So the best way that we can help our orcas is by making it a great habitat for our salmon here in Bothell. So helping develop our riparian zone or a riparian forest. Because there's three main factors affecting our orcas. It's population, vessel noise, or loss of salmon. We're losing most of our salmon, mostly through water contamination, and the big thing is loss of habitat. There's 5 Pacific salmon here, and three of them are either endangered or threatened. So providing a healthy environment for them will improve water quality, prevent flood control, so hopefully stopping erosion on the riverbank, and like I said, mentioning improving the riparian habitat. So not only do salmon and orcas benefit from riparian forests, but also other things like pollinators. We're trying to add beauty to the park. We're trying to educate the community. We're providing an outdoor lab for college students, which I'll talk about in a few slides. Improving air and water quality, wildlife habitat, and enhancing recreation at this park as well. So these are just a few stats that I wanted to just show you real quick. So this is our 2023 to 2024 planting season. Our seasons usually start in October and then go until early March. So this is the total area, the number of plants, the number of volunteers we had in just that planting season, and then how many hours they devoted to all that work, and kind of just the value out of all that time that they put in. And this is what we have so far in our planting season right now. We're trying to get 3 upper bank sections of the river done. Right now we're on our third to last, which is on the right side that you see in those photos, what we got going on. By the end of the planting season, we'll have about 504 trees and shrubs in the ground. Yeah, that's what we got going on right now. So I would say of 2024, our biggest part, honestly, in my opinion, is our community engagement. It's been the most it's ever been. And it's been, I think, the most impactful it's ever been with Whale Scout. So you can see our outreach, mostly specifically here in Bothell, we've been involved in a lot of outreach events like the 4th of July parade, Halloween on Main Street. We also have a number of groups that come out regularly every year. I highlighted the Sky Valley Education Center. They've been out with us about 3 to 4 years now. Come and help us remove plants or whatever it might be. And then on the right side, we have our community education events. Those are 10 events that we were able to design through Department of Natural Resources, gave us a grant to put on these events, and they had to be at the former Wayne Golf Course specifically. So we put on a few, put paint in the park, We did a silver sneaker walk where we had seniors come out and educated them on the work we do. We did a Mason bee habitat building. We had kids come out, make little Mason bee homes. We also did a Curious Step series where we had experts in the field come out and teach the community about what they did. Next slide. So this is kind of the stats that we got from that. So we had 75 participants come to our 10 events. And every time someone came to an event, we asked them, hey, have you been here before? Have you even heard about this park before? And 31 of them said, no, I've never been here. I've never heard this park even existed. So that was pretty amazing. And I personally think the best part about this whole education event that we put on was we were able to invite people that normally don't really come to our events. People who maybe aren't interested in removing blackberry or planting a tree. Mostly because either they have language barriers or they're physically unable to attend. So we were able to have those people come out and experience the park and be able to feel like they're a part of their community in a great way. So, yeah. Next slide. So other than those things, we also do a Diverse Voices student internship program. And then we also partner with Bothell. We host their senior capstone students that are finishing their 4th year at Bothell. So with our internship program, we provide valuable career training in a number of ways. We also teach maintaining our previous planting sites, adaptive management practices. They also have experienced public speaking and in community education events. They also do research opportunities as well. And then our Bothell students, we had 4 this last planting season, and they were able to do water quality. They wanted to test for wildflowers and pollinators in a space, soil testing, GIS vegetation data analysis. We also give them a big habitat restoration project. The one that they did, you can see on the bottom right corner, that photo, they did kind of that whole purple slice there. So they removed invasives, and then they came and placed 270 trees and shrubs in that space. And they also placed willows along the creek in that. So what we have going on, we have 6 students this planting season, and they're doing tree protection. So obviously they all have their own research projects, but this is their kind of collaborative projects that they're working on. So obviously we have a lot of mature trees at the park, but we want to protect those best we can. So they're kind of going in, removing invasives, and then laying down some cardboard and mulch to prevent anything from coming back. So that's what we have this year, and I want to say thank you for listening, and thank you for all our supporters. And
Rachel will take any questions that you might have. I might jump in if something predates her. But yeah, we're excited to hear that the master plan is moving forward, and excited to hear what the community, is wanting to see in this space moving forward. Jeez.
2-part question. Where are you going to school? If you're going to school, what are you studying? Because I know you did say you're a student. And how long do you plan to continue working with Girl Scouts? What's your vision for Girl Scouts and your participation?
I'm not in school right now. I graduated in 2020, but how long do I plan? I don't know. How long I'm allowed to, I guess.
It's the most asked question of all park staff. I think every crew member has asked me, is Rachel staying for forever? I'm like, do we want her to? Yes, we do.
I'd like to, yeah.
That's all I got.
I have a question. I know the former Wayne Golf Course is large and there's still tons to do, but do you guys have any other ideas of where to go next? You're also doing Bear Creek, but I'm just wondering if you have sites on other areas, either in Bothell or other.
We have like four phases of planting. So what we're doing right now is on some of the bank sections. Next year, we will do some other bank sections. We're really focused on areas near the borders of the park and along those 3 bridges that you see there. So there's 2 pedestrian bridges and 1 car bridge, 96th Avenue Bridge. And so we will be doing other bank sections along those basically fixed points that won't change in the master plan, like the bridges aren't going to move, park borders aren't going to move, so plants won't get ripped out. That's basically the idea. There's also some upland work on the south side of the river where there's a lot of blackberries encroaching on trees. And we've kind of outlined a general large area that will be dependent on trail alignment through the master plan process. So there's more planting to come in future years. And you can see up by the road there's the trail that runs there, and there's those red parallel looking lines. So that's actually King County Parks trail easement land. And we are just signed the contract today and everything's approved to do some restoration in that area. And it will come right next to where we planted last year. So it will extend that habitat and also just improve the park and the trail on both sides. And it's funding dependent. We should hear back in the next 2 weeks. And yeah, we've been talking also with Amanda Royal, Surface Water, and she has some parcels where she has right of access along Waynita Creek that are basically dumping a bunch of sediment into Waynita Creek and then coming through her project area on the back 9. So we're working on initiating some of those on private property that would benefit restoration happening at the Fort Wayne Golf Course on the east side. But yeah, we are trying to diversify our portfolio.
But focus on former Wayne as opposed to other,
So
or even other municipalities, I guess, too, I guess. That's what I was just wondering.
yeah, we're kind of becoming more and more Bothell centric. Our Bear Creek site is likely to be sold in the next year. So, but we've been there 5 years. It's like wrapped up and feels really complete. So good news.
So, a question, as we do all this, and I'm focusing on the Wayne Golf Course, and then, all the construction on the road, or the highway, do we know if there's much disruption to the river with all that construction? And then how do we tie in, if at all, with the Redmond Parks Board or Parks to make sure that what we're doing makes an impact on the salmon, but they got to come through Redmond? And how does that look? And those are just things I've thought about more because I use the parks in Redmond too, so.
Yeah, so the in terms of like road construction and things like that, like you're talking about the 522
Yeah.
project, we actually had that team come out, what are they called? Skanska.
Oh, good.
And they had their fish biologists come and we just geeked out. Like they're doing tons of fish passage barrier projects along North Creek and the Sammamish River.
Okay.
So, I mean, generally, it's better when you have those new projects. They do make some habitat improvements, especially
Yeah.
with culverts needing to be replaced and updated. And yeah, there's efforts that King County has to coordinate restoration along the Sammamish River through its entire length, through all jurisdictions. It's a super big challenge because the Army Corps oversees that. So there's lots of jurisdictions that we have to work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good information.
But there's efforts through the Riot 8, which is set up to coordinate between all the different jurisdictions along that waterway. So a lot of our funding kind of comes through there as well. But they're sort of our clearinghouse for those types of questions, like how does this, affect this?
Yes.
If you do this, then this is
Okay.
what needs to
There's
happen.
so many partners out there too, because there's other nonprofits and other agencies that are doing work on, like Mid-Sound Fisheries has a project in Redmond right now, and King County has to constantly do their when they're doing stuff, they have to jump in and fix areas. So but that makes it so patchy too.
You have to also just be opportunistic. The Riot 8 does have priorities in their funding allocations that say this is a tier 1 stream, this is a tier 2 stream, and that does help factor into scoring projects and putting money where they think it's needed. Sammamish River is tier 1.
Okay, good to know. And then just a question, the new Snake Rocks, is that part of?
It's not us.
It's not
us. Yeah, everyone thinks it's us, but it's not us.
It's adorable.
Just wonder, I know you guys have
done a lot of work already. It's just wondering, when we just think of the Bothell section, what percentage have we gotten done so far, and how much more is there to go?
That's a good question. I couldn't answer that. There's a lot to go. The former Wayne Golf Course probably presents the largest opportunity to do large-scale restoration anywhere that there's not pavement already. So it's a huge opportunity.
Especially because it's like a mile stretch throughout.
Seems like a pretty good chunk.
Is that how long it is, a mile for the golf
All
course?
shoreline. Both sides. Yeah. Laura, I see you.
Thank you. I just had a question for Nick. You said that the RFP has gone out for the plan at this park, and I was just wondering what, like from a really high level, what the timing is and where you foresee the board playing a part, like in the next year or so.
No, that's an excellent question. So we actually closed the process today. That means that we went out, we asked for proposals, we received 12 of them. Next week, our internal staff will be reviewing those 12, and we hope to get it down to a manageable number to bring back to do interviews with. So typically, we'll try to get that down somewhere between 3 and 5 proposals, just because that makes the most sense moving forward. From there, these are funded projects in 2025, so we will not kick off anything until 2025. We did this pre-work so that we could be set up to really start these projects in the first quarter of 2025. The interface that you'll have, it's a master planning effort, so you'll have a lot of interface in that process as a board. We'll have a consultant, obviously, on board. They'll be doing some presentations. We as staff will be doing some presentations. We'll be doing a lot of community outreach. So similar to what we did with the park at Bothell Landing and what we'll continue to do with our other projects, we'll have open houses. We'll have those touch points that we'll ask our board members to participate in where they can, so that you can hear from the community what you'd like to see. The unique thing about this, I think, and Whitney and Rachael both hit on it, is that this is passive use area that is really one of the best opportunities to really think about habitat restoration in this corridor. And the work that Whale Scout has been doing has been incredible. I mean, truly incredible. We are lucky to have an organization here that is putting that time and effort. It was interesting when Rachael said that, she's looking for people sometimes. I've never seen so many volunteers that are so excited about working outdoors in the rain, in the snow at times, in the mud. Just the energy that the organization has been able to do in their short time, because we talk geologic time when we're talking sort of these areas, but in the short time the benefit to Bothell as a community has been significant, and I really look forward to Whale Scout being a really large stakeholder in this conversation with our community, because that's how we get things done. This is how we do great work, and we couldn't not do it without our power partners. And Whale Scout, without a doubt, is probably our largest power partner in park.
Yeah, I second that, Nick. I went for a walk recently with my family, and I was quite surprised to see all the different areas that you guys have been working on there. There's so many new little trees, and it's so encouraging just to see that. So great job to Whale Scout.
Just one more pat for Rachael, because I had a friend and we were walking, and people were there, and they were hauling stuff and putting everything in and doing a great job. So always see
Rachael.
her. Yes.
The boss. I appreciate your comments. Thank you, Rachael and Sheila.
This isn't a question, but I do have more of a comment of, I know that maybe this isn't the biggest focus of Whale Scout, but I really, really appreciate all of the community outreach that you do, including the Silver Sneakers work, the kind of stuff for kids that you've been putting in the park. I think that's super important for engagement. I unfortunately have not been able to go, and one of these times I've been wanting to get to each of them, and I just haven't. So, outside of all that, I hope you guys continue to do those sections of programming as well, because I think that that's super important for the park and the community.
And I just add one more thing. So you mentioned the creativity that you brought, the programming. That is at the heart of Parks and Recreation. When you can bring new people who maybe haven't been out to experience our parks to do things that they normally wouldn't do, that is the heart of Parks and Recreation. So I really, really appreciated just the different programming that you had out there this summer and the impact that it made on our community. That work it's strong, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. You know, it does great things for our community. It builds community. So kudos to you and all your efforts there.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, especially because I met so many people who were new to Bothell and just moved there, and they were looking for community, and they were like, I feel like this is the best place. And I saw them like interacting with other people that lived here. I thought that was really cool, just to be an outlet for people to be like they're in their space. And
Really good point, yeah.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Okay. So Scott is unfortunately out today, sick, so we won't be hearing from Scott. But we do have Blaine here, who's going to be giving us an update on ongoing projects and programs.
It'll be super quick because we've pretty much covered through conversations the general updates. So I'm going to just get back onto this presentation. All right, so the general updates, as Nick has mentioned, the RFP has closed today for the Bothell Parks and Recreation Open Space, the PROS plan, along with the RFQ for Former Wing Golf Course. So those were just some larger items. As Whitney has shared, that the council did pass the comprehensive plan and the biennial city budget. If you're curious about both of those, when you want to read through the documents, those are actually featured on our city's website. So whoever's on the call, along with the board members here today, our communications officer did highlight both of those approvals through our city website. So you are more than welcome to go comb through those light reads, I would say. I mean, 'tis the season. And the last thing we just kind of want to highlight, we shifted gears from Winter Porch Light Parade, which was a joint city effort, to Lights at the Landing. So Winter Porch Light Parade was created by Shelby. I don't know if you all have met Shelby Krogh. She is in the special event permitting. During COVID, there was a desire to engage our community, and they've created a virtual map between Shoreline, Lake Forest, and Kenmore. This year, we decided to pause that program, and then we are still getting back together as a collaborative joint effort and potentially do something more in person or a larger program as the 4 cities. But on that pause, we did do Lights at the Landing. So I know some of you have walked around and seen the subtle warm lights down in the park. It's a beautiful thing to have during the holiday season. So we just wanted to let everybody know that's a kind of an informal experience just to see the pulse of the community, meaning is something like that desirable to our park users. And I will say it has been very desirable based on social media, how much ask is, oh, can we do more? Or is this great for families? Or one of the local users had their children come out after school and they did the museum and the lights. So it's just a nice way to interact with our community in just a different informal way. But because we touched base on all of those different items, I'm going to ask Nick if he has anything else he wants to add, and then I'll give it back over to you, Whitney.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to add. One of the things that I'll be doing in the first quarter as well, I like to bring my team in and talk to them individually about sort of our budget, what passed, what, sort of those highlights. And I'd like to do that as well for the Parks and Rec Board so that I can give you sort of an overview of what is in the budget, what are we looking at, what is our work plan for 2025. I think those things will be useful as you start to navigate, okay, this is the things that are on the docket, here's what's coming, here's what's some of the cool things that we added in the budget, just to give you those overviews. But as Blaine said, if you want to read those documents, they're pretty beefy. But we are available to answer any individual questions that you might have. So please feel free to reach out at any time. We are coming up on the holidays, so there's, sporadic people, in and out of the office from time to time. But we're ready and excited to kick off 2025. It's going to be our best year yet. I always say that. It's always going to be our best year yet. And just really looking forward to it. So.
So you're going to come back in January with a budget presentation?
It'll be in the first quarter for sure. So, yeah.
Look forward to that. Our next agenda item is a subcommittee update that Sheila will be leading about the Doug Allen dog statue.
Joint threesome, given.
Okay.
I unfortunately was out for personal reasons in the last few weeks.
Myself as well.
But, so I'm not going to read this to you, but this is the highlight. We did have a presentation a few months ago from the family, but it's Doug Allen dog statue. And this is the recommended project plan that we will be working with the Arts Commission to both create additional funding, and then also they had a set of $6,000 already that they had raised for updating the dog statue. And we'll be working with the Arts Commission to both from a funding standpoint and how they fund, but also grant asks, et cetera. And then we will basically go to look for artists, reach out to the community to do that. One of the things I do highlight in here, only because it's recent news from Seattle, is any bronze statues tend to be chopped up and sold on the black market. So we will probably, I'm going to recommend, and we'll see. I mean, the thing with, even cement or even a mixture of that with resin, they're so heavy. What does that look like? So there are people far more knowledgeable than I, i.e. the artists that will, the Arts Committee that will be able to look at that. There is a estimated timeline. Again, we need to go back to the Arts Commission to ensure the subcommittee is on board with everything, and then we can continue to move forward. There's a summary that Whitney, I'm not going to take credit of where we were and where we are now. So we've got that in there. And then just budget projections, material, fundraising, and then installation and maintenance, which we obviously need to consider too. Also pictures for those that had not seen it. And what touched me the most is the West Hill Elementary School kids decorated. So we definitely want to take that into consideration on what the structure looks like and ensure that the kids can do that to the statutes. So that is the latest update summary for that. So.
Yeah, we work together to put this working document together so that we can continue to refine it as we move through the process. And it will also be around for the length of the project. Should Sheila or anyone else not stick around, but hopefully you will.
No pressure, Sheila.
Oh,
So it's a working document, and the work of the subcommittee can continue to move forward. And at least we have something to.
Yeah, we just wanted to let you know that at least the project plan is outlined, and we'll work with the Arts Commission to tighten it up.
And then the two Art Commission representatives?
Yeah, that's the subcommittee, and that would be, right here.
Yeah.
Or do we know their?
Rita and Holly.
Ooh, I don't know their terms off the top of my
Okay.
head. That's a good question.
Just want to double check
Oh,
their terms.
that's true. Okay.
So some next steps would be to talk with, just maybe have like a subcommittee and maybe Danae meet. Danae did highlight a grant program at the Arts Commission meeting and just learning exactly what those steps are and what the timeline is. To make sure that we have all the information that we need in order to be competitive in that funding source.
So it's exciting.
Question?
A comment,
Yeah.
unrelated. I just wanted to share, I just got this week, so, the Eastside Pride recently developed or published their all year round playbook, and it has a lot of really helpful, outlines and tips. It's beautifully done. They did a great job on it. And I'd just love to share it with everyone, just to have as a resource as we update our various park projects that we're going to do. I think it's just a great resource.
Amazing.
And then Blaine, I just wanted to double check that am I allowed to email out that to everyone? Does
I
it need
think
to come from one of you?
Yeah, I think we would prefer that it came, but
That's
actually,
fine.
I think I have the exact, I think I have
have
that
all
as
that,
well
yeah.
because our DEI coordinator sent that to me,
Yep.
so. Yep.
And I can also send that document, this document, if needed. This one.
Yes.
Yeah, visual copy.
Mhm.
Scott.
All right, I'll invite a motion to adjourn.
Second.
First it by Julia. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bye, Laura. Bye, Barbie.
Bye.
Happy holidays,
Bye,
everyone.
Dave.
I have to be there in person next time.